So today we are on word sort 50, and word sort 50 looks at homophones again. So it is our third week of looking at homophones, but this time the focus is the long I and the long O sounds. So for this word sort, we have 7 headers. We have I underscore E. And remember, this line right here isn't a dash, it's an underscore, which means that typically there's a consonant in there. So as in the example of dice, D-I-C-E, this I becomes a long sound because it's the consonant E. Typically when you have the silent E, the vowel here becomes long. The second header that we have is I-G-H, a Y, O-A, O underscore E, and again it's an O, typically a consonant, and then the E, O-W, and then we do have some oddballs this time. How I'm going to show these to you is with the homophones. And so when we look at our words here, we have some words that sure sound the same, but they mean very different things. And so this first word, die, can be spelled 2 different ways but mean 2 different things. D-I-E has that long I sound, and D-Y-E also has that long I sound. For the Y, it replaces the vowel E, but still has that long I sound. This dye, D-Y-E, means to color something, as in I'm going to dye a shirt. This dye right here can mean a couple of different things. One is death, and the other is maybe a dice, so it's a singular word for dice, die. Our second set of homophones we're looking at is lone. You can see in this case, the O-A sound makes the long O. The O consonant E sound makes the long O again. So loan, as in I'm going to loan you my favorite shirt. Loan, as in singular, one. Our third set of homophones brings us over here to these 2 headers. Right, I-T-E, gives you the long I sound, and this I-G-H gives us a long I sound also. Right, as in write a letter. This right is the opposite of wrong. As we go into our next pair of homophones, we can see something similar to what we did with die, only this time it's the word time. Time, as in 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 2:15. And then this time is a spice, something you can grow into your garden and you put into the food. T-H-Y-M-E, time. The H is silent. We have another word pattern similar to right. This time it's side. So S-I-D-E, that long I sound, is made by the I consonant, then E. This right here, side, the long I is made with the G-H, I-G-H, and then it's past tense, and so we add the E-D, side. Our next homophone pair falls into those same headers with site, S-I-T-E, as in the location, and then also S-I-G-H-T, as in eyesight. The next one is kind of fun, because both of the homophones fall into the I-G-H-T. We have night, as in when the sun goes down, and I-G-H-T. And we have another night with the silent K, as in using swords and armor. K-N-I-G-H-T. Now we finally have one of our oddballs. And the oddball is I'll, which is a contraction for I will. So it's capital I, apostrophe L-L, I'll, and then when you go down here, some might think that this is an oddball, but actually, because the S is silent, you only hear one consonant sound, I'll. So it fits with this word pattern right here. I, consonant sound E. So it gives it the long I sound. I'll, I'll. And finally, we have 3 more homophones that fall into the Y header. By, and by. This by is a preposition, meaning that the dog sat by the couch next to. This by means I'm going to buy something. She bought a lollipop. And this by means you're waving goodbye, you're saying goodbye, you're leaving. So we have by, and by. 3 homophones, 3 different meanings, yet they all follow the same rule for the long I sound by using that Y. Let's look at the rest of our words here. And we're going to have a focus now on those end headers. So we have rose and rose. Our O-S-E is the flower. And it follows that long O, gives us that O sound with the O consonant E. And again right here, rose. The O-W makes the long O sound. Going down to the next pair of homophones, the word groan. Groan means like you're expressing yourself with frustration, like, ugh. And this groan means height. You're growing up. Grown. She's grown. So that O-A makes the long O sound. And right here again, that O-W makes the long O sound. My next pair is board. This type of board, B-O-A-R-D, the O-A makes the long O, is like a 2x4 board that you might build something with. This board right here, the O-R-E, the O consonant E, is falling in the middle of a word this time, but it still gives me the long O. This means that you're not excited. It's the opposite of excited. You're bored. We have another oddball here. Close and close. That TH right there makes a similar sound, so that it just runs into one consonant sound. Close. As in what you wear, close. As in what you're doing. You're closing the door. You're putting on your clothes. And that's it for our word sort for today. So as you write these, you can write them as homophones, like I did, or you can just write them into the headers too.